Hello, everyone, and welcome to day three of the McAda Graduate School Fall 2024 Preview Days. My name is Janae. I am the Graduate Recruitment Specialist for the McAda Graduate School, and today we'll focus on the experience and resources available to graduate students here at McAda. So, graduate school is definitely a unique and rewarding journey, and we're here to support you every step of that path from academic resources to personal well being. We have an exciting agenda to cover today. We will hear from our MSU Counseling Center. You'll hear from graduate writing assistants, as well as a discussion panel with our graduate student ambassadors sharing their experiences. And these resources and these perspectives are designed to help you succeed and thrive as a graduate student. So I'd like to introduce Ms. Danette from the MSU Counseling Center, where she will share the resources that are available to our students. Ms. Danette.
Thank you so much, Janae. I appreciate being here and having the opportunity to speak with all of you about the Counseling Center, where we are, who we are, what we do, and how that can help you as a student and what we have to offer as a student. As an MSU student, whether you're undergrad or graduate, you are eligible for counseling for free. It's included in your student service fees. So if you come to see us, it's not going to cost you anything. You don't have to have outside insurance or anything like that. We offer services such as personal counseling, couples counseling, career, academics, anxiety, depression, anything like that. We have the resources for those. If you come in with a source that is outside of what we call our scope of practice, then we would work with you to refer you to someone outside of the MSU Counseling Center and outside of MSU so that you still get those needs met that you need. A couple of things, different platforms that we do have available is Timely Care and Talk Now. Timely Care took the place of the Vincent Health Center when it closed. So if you have a sore throat, you have an earache, whatever, you can jump on there and speak with a physician and get a prescription for whatever medication, whatever antibiotics you might need. Another part of Timely Care is Talk Now. And Talk Now is counselors, licensed counselors, just like us at the counseling center, but they're there 24/7. So if you just need somebody to talk to, 3 o'clock in the morning, Sunday afternoon, Christmas Day, whatever, you can jump on there within a couple of minutes. You'll be talking with the counselor, and there is no limit to how many times you do that. You could do that 10 times a day if you wanted to. Another platform that Talk Now has is different modules like guided meditation, nutrition, exercise. Um, they have community blogs where it's not just MSU, it's all over the state. And you do not, it doesn't show your name, it doesn't show your location. You can just type in what you want to talk about: anxiety, depression, time management, procrastination, stress, whatever, and within minutes, there are 50 to 100 people talking with you that are experiencing the same thing. And that is so helpful because sometimes we forget that we're not the only ones that are feeling overwhelmed. We're not the only ones that are struggling. So it's really great to have other people that are going through the same thing that you can talk with. Their services are confidential, just like ours. If you meet with us, everything is confidential. It doesn't leave the counseling center. It does not go in your student records. No one knows you're reaching out to the counseling center, with a few exceptions, like if you told us you were going to harm yourself or someone else, or if an elderly person, a disabled person, or a child was being abused or neglected, we would have to report that. But again, we're your advocates and it's not going to go anywhere else. And so you have that same confidentiality with the counselors on Talk Now and all of the platforms that they offer. If you would like to come and talk with us or you want to reach out to us, you can do so through email or on calling us. All of our information is on the counseling website. And then we will get in touch with you, get you in here, and we will work with you and provide whatever resources and services that you need. Does anyone have any questions about the counseling center or what we do or anything like that? Okay, well, again, we're here if you need us. It is important for self-care. Counseling is not selfish. It is taking care of yourself, and we all need to do that. We are all dealing with a million things at one time, and we all get overwhelmed at times and just need someone to talk to sometimes. So if that's what you need, that's what we're here for, and that is what Talk Now is here for. Thank you, Janae.
Thank you, Danette, for sharing the services that the Counseling Center provides. And just to reiterate what you said, the service is available to all graduate students, and it aims to support your well-being throughout your academic journey, from handling stress to navigating life challenges. The Counseling Center is here to assist all students.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And then next, we will hear from Anna, who supports and manages our graduate writing assistants. Anna.
Can y'all hear me now? Can everybody
Yes.
hear me? Okay. So I'm the graduate writing let me try again. Graduate writing coach at MSU. And I essentially just meet students where he, she, they are within the writing process. Graduate writing is much different from undergraduate writing in that it is rigorous and demanding and for instance, in an undergraduate class, people I think are familiar with the 5 paragraph essay where a professor will come in with a question and your thesis statement is essentially an answer to that question. And then your 5 paragraph or the 5 paragraph essay, supports your side on that thesis. In graduate work, it's more intense and a formal tone, it's polished. It's a real. I mean, when it's done right, it's excellent. Graduate work, people demand excellence in writing. Average work, I wouldn't think would would pass. So if you consider yourself a good writer, I can help you get better. If you consider yourself a bad writer, I'll probably talk you out of that mindset. Everybody writes horribly in the beginning. Everybody. I've been doing it for 20 plus years and I'm still terrible with my first draft and my second draft. Um, and I just really want to encourage graduate students who especially are coming in with a thesis that they have to tackle and are really intimidated by that, or something smaller like a literature review, which is part of a thesis, or even a substantial research paper. I can help you from the very beginning to the very end. It's better if somebody comes to me in the beginning and we can start from scratch. However, I do have students come to me when they have already produced quite a bit of writing, and it depends on the student, it depends on the writing, and it depends on the assignment how we tackle that. But essentially, I establish or I try to clear up some, I guess, concepts that I don't find are particularly helpful for writing. For instance, good writing. What is that? Many people have their own idea what good writing is. And essentially, good writing is it communicates what the writer wants to communicate. I think, or I've come across many students who often think that good writing, like sounds smart. which when I come across something that sounds smart or something like that, it's kind of a red flag for me because usually there's jargon or language that is it doesn't clearly communicate as well as something using simpler terms. Writing well is involved. It requires a lot of revision, and quite frankly, that's the secret sauce to good writing is the revision process. So I help you manage the entire writing process. I can help you from beginning to end, or whatever. If you've run into situations, I can help you when you're in the middle. I can help at the end too, but I'm really kind of cut off at the knees if I'm brought in at the last part of the process. Um, so anyway, graduate level writing, just to give you a brief idea of what that is, I like to call it a big hot mess when you first start. It's, I mean, you're dealing with it, depending on what you're doing, whichever discipline you're in, you're probably dealing with some sort of theoretical framework. And instead of answering a question, for instance, like you would in an undergraduate paper, now you've got to contribute original ideas. And that is a totally different ballgame. And it's rigorous, strenuous mental work. And then you have to put it on paper. And it's usually a hot mess at that point. So then we go through and we'll find patterns that are specific to you. Everybody has their own writing style. And it's okay if you don't know what your writing style is or your writing process is. I can coach you through that, where you're able to identify, like, what works for me in writing may not work for the next person. We may have different writing problems or writing styles. And so what I help you do is kind of figure out what works for you. That makes your writing more efficient. It makes your time more efficient. And it makes writing a much more less daunting when you know what you're doing, when you have more confidence. And so that's kind of what I'm here to do, primarily as a coach. I'm kind of a cheerleader too. And to give you that confidence. I've been doing this a long time, and I would say most people are better writers than they give themselves credit for. The hitch and the giddy up, I think most people come across is the revising. They don't know what to revise for, and I can help you with that too. Again, when you revise, remember how I said that there are people with or writers with patterns that they typically have. Once you know what your patterns are, revising isn't so terrible. Um, and the whole process can actually be kind of enjoyable, as opposed to completely overwhelming. Um, let's see. So I like to talk shop. I can talk writing all day long. I have my little notes right here so I don't go off too far off subject. But for instance, when I say talk shop, that's like brainstorming in the very beginning. So if you need help brainstorming, we can talk it out. I can ask you questions. It'll help you formulate your own thoughts and kind of like, instead of say this is the idea you're trying to explain, but you're talking around it. I can help you get closer and closer and then finally arrive at oh, this is what I really want to say. I can help you clarify assignments. Basically, I find myself often translating academic English into just regular old English. So, for instance, I'll have students who come with their professors will come with feedback in the margins for papers, and professors don't have the time to go into detail about the writing like I do. And I can really explain, for instance, what they mean by like concise writing, vague, specific, not specific enough, and really help you get get to the meaning of what you're trying to say, and I can help them get to the meaning of what they're trying to say. So there's no miscommunication. I can help with structuring papers from anything like an essay, a literature review, all the way to a thesis. Let's see, format. Depending on the format, it depends on which department you're in. For instance, biology, will use a different format than, let's say, the English department or the psychology department. So you've got like Chicago, you have the APA, MLA, and other formats. I can help you get through those, especially with in-text citations and the reference pages, which can be pretty confusing, especially if you're not used to it, and if you're new to it. There's a method to the madness, and I've found that if I can explain the method to the madness, then it's, oh, okay, I get it. It makes sense now. It's less daunting. I can help you improve things like clarity and coherence. For instance, if you do need to improve upon clarity, there could be a lot of things you need to work on with that. Some people that would be concise writing. And for instance, with some people, there is coherence. Oftentimes you can hear other words like flow or there's other jargony words that I can explain. I can help you use a formal academic tone as opposed to an informal one. If you start out informal, that's great. I strongly suggest, I say writing is purging, and it's a purge of thought, and then revising is a perfection of thought. So when you come across some really good writing, a lot of work went into that. It was a hot mess before it became a really good piece of writing. Uh, writer's block. Who hasn't been there? I can help you with that. Um, Sometimes I approach that with like little mini assignments. Do this, do that, and it's like we build, 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 and before you know it, you have or literature review or whatever you're working on. I can help you find your voice, and that can be a challenge in academic writing because it's so formal. But you're in there, your professors and your readers, your audience really want to hear you. They don't want to just hear this academese language. So I can help you find your voice. I can help you learn how to keep it simple for your reader. You want your reader to understand what you're going to say. And that's hard because that means you have to do all the thinking for the reader. And thinking, especially at a graduate level, is rigorous. And then you have to put it on paper. That's even more rigorous. So I'm here to encourage you through all of it. I know the process. I know the process well. I've worked with many, many students and have gotten good with working with the individual instead of like, it's not going to be like you go to a writing class and you get this general information that leads to good writing. It's specific to you. It's time saving. Working with me will take time, but overall it will save you time. It'll make you more efficient with time. Let's see. And the confidence when you leave after working with me for a bit of time, you are going to get better at what you do. You'll know more about writing. You'll know how to revise. You'll know what good writing is versus what bad writing is. You'll be able to take bad writing and turn it into good writing, and that's confidence building. There's personalized feedback, and again, that's tailored to you. So that goes in with how what's the word I'm looking for? When I give specific feedback and tailored to you, that could be piggybacking on your professor's comments, further elaborating on what your professor is wanting. So your professor may give you a little blurb. I can explain what they mean with that blurb. For instance, concise writing. Let's see, the time management and accountability. I'm not a professor in that, like, this is the deadline, you better meet it. I'm not, I wouldn't put me on a hierarchy as a professor. We're a team. That's how I see it. And, if you show up, great. If you don't, then I'm not going to come hunting you down, or I don't give out grades. It's definitely a mentor, coach, and like I said, cheerleader kind of relationship. The things that I do not do, I am a writer and I am an editor, but I am not a writer and I am not an editor for MSU. That is not part of my role here. My role is to teach. And so what I do, I use my skill set as an editor, and I'll go through a paper. I'll go through part of the paper and I'll show you how to do it, and I will explain how to edit your paper. Um, what I prefer to do is go through several revisions so we can look through 2 or 3 things each revision. It makes it simpler, it makes it faster. You may have to do more revisions, but it is more streamlined. Um, I typically return work within 48 hours from it being sent to me. However, don't expect like sending me 150 pages of a thesis and expect it to be completely read through in 2 days. I'm not that good. And but what I would do is show you, like, let's say the situation is you have a 150-page thesis and I have 2 days to look over it. What I would do is skim, and then I would show you how to skim through and use the time you have in the best way that we can, tackle what we can. So in terms of like time management, I can help you. Like, we have this time, okay, we can do this. I guess manage expectations is a large part of my role too. And again, coaching is not editing, but I can coach you to teach you how to edit for yourself. And I could keep going on and on because it is a big, broad topic. But the most difficult part about describing what I do is that it's different for each student. It's different for every assignment. And there's so many different variables for each person. So I guess you could say overall that it's just a very specific teaching relationship one on one. And I find that pretty beneficial in terms of reducing stress, managing time. A lot of our students who are graduate students juggle, multiple jobs. They have families, they have kids. Been there, done that. I wrote my own thesis as a newborn, or not a newborn. I had a newborn. I was a first-time mom. I had to write a thesis. I had to teach classes. I was juggling a lot and didn't think I could do it. Fortunately, I had some mentors to help me through. So I know the value in having somebody help you get through these really rigorous, demanding mental exercises that we get to show through writing. And I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has, or you can email me if they come to you later. I'm at Grad Writing Help. Anybody? No? I don't know what to do next, Janaea. What should I do?
No, that was perfect. And thank you,
Okay.
Anna. Again, thank you for that information.
Yeah.
So, whether you're working on a research paper, thesis, or other writing project, Anna is readily available to support you. Again, do just give her that 48-hour window to get back with you with any edits or revisions. And again, thank you, Anna.
Thanks.
So now, with those key resources introduced, let's move on to one of the highlights of today's session, our Graduate Student Ambassador Q&A panel. And this panel will provide you with the unique opportunity to hear directly from our current students about their experiences. So feel free to ask questions about managing your academic responsibilities, balancing life as a graduate student, and maximizing your time here at MSU Texas McAda Graduate School. So now, can the graduate student ambassadors introduce themselves?
Hi, everyone. My name is Brett Mitchell. I'm one of the graduate student ambassadors. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey everybody, so Sebastian, or the graduate school student ambassadors, and also like it's really nice.
Brett and Sebastian, can you let us know what your majors are?
Of course. I'm a computer science master's student here. I'll be graduating in the summer. But I have experience with biology as well. So a lot of the McCoy College of Science and Mathematics, I've been able to experience.
So me, yeah, the analytics program. I'm also graduating in the summer, and my background is in marketing and journalism. And yeah,
Thanks for that. So we did get a few questions in our direct messages on our social media page. So the first question that we did have from our anonymous prospective student is how has your experience at this graduate school contributed to your career goals or professional development?
Yeah, I've been able to leverage this education to be able to have a few internships, and those internships really gave me industry experience for me working in data science. And without having this education, I wouldn't have had the prerequisites to be able to take on those internships and perform effectively at them. And so it not only helped with getting the internship, but performing well with the internships as well. So it was really, really helpful. Um, and I'm really thankful for it.
so in my case, I came into the program without any business or analytics background because my background was actually in humanities. I did history and I did English, and I ended up in marketing. And when I entered the program, I learned all these like hard skills that before had only used like and learned empirically. So now I was able to like actually look at marketing data, customers, numbers, and that's a skill that it's in so much value in this industry that my career options just expanded exponentially, and now I can do more specialized work, and it becomes I become more in demand in the labor market.
Those are definitely great responses. So I can definitely see the value that both of you all are having in your master's programs, whether that's getting internship experience or becoming more attractive in the labor market that's becoming highly competitive every day, it seems like. So our next question from our direct messages is how do you balance coursework, research, and personal life as a graduate student?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I work and I have a wife and a daughter, and I also take classes. So yeah, it's definitely a very busy schedule. But the biggest thing I could say is to open the lines of communication with your professor and be honest about your situation. Uh, and whenever you have an assignment, or just anything, just reach out to them and clarify the requirements. So you make sure you're doing what you need to do and you're not doing anything irrelevant and and you're not mismanaging your time because obviously time is of the essence. And so I'd say just make friends. Um, and reserve at least one night a week to just relax and be social. No matter the situation, I would just do that to maintain at least a little bit of balance. Open the lines of communication with your professor, and uh, and yeah, realize it's all going to be okay.
Yeah, for me, I definitely share that first, like you have to really, really open with your professors, and you have so many resources within your academic program, and also like with advisors, and just build those connections, find your own tribe, just to call it like that, find your little group that is gonna become that support group for, academics, and also like for your social life, and also are gonna be like the ones helping you in the future, get job opportunities. And in my case, I also work. I have to pay my bills, and it's not like undergraduate that you had a little more support family wise. Now you are the adult, so you also have to take care of yourself and take care of others. So letting your professors know when you're struggling, and you will find out, like, you will be surprised how much they can help you, especially here that a lot all of the staff, it's so welcoming and so supportive.
Thank you for those responses. It sounds like building a supportive community for yourself and advocating for yourself with your peers as well as with your professors can help you balance out those demands that life may have as a graduate student. So, our next question that we do have is what has been the most rewarding aspect of your graduate studies so far, and what has been the most challenging?
I'd say the most rewarding aspect of my education so far, it's hard to pinpoint one thing exactly, but I think I think just, when you work really hard and your grades reflect that, um, and you see the fruits of your labor, and that's extremely rewarding. On top of that, like getting to connect with all the professors and all the students, that's just super rewarding. But really at the end of the day, just getting internships, finding success, and doing so like your way, like working hard. That's the most rewarding for me, but it's also the most challenging thing with obviously, like, a lot of things going on at once. If you work and you go to school, attaining, doing well in classes can be really difficult, and balancing everything, but it's possible, and it's also extremely rewarding.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like the same. I would say that it would be difficult to like pinpoint a specific moment, but every semester you go through like this cycle of you come with all the excitement of a new semester, and then of course, like classes are challenging. They're supposed to be challenging. They're supposed to push you out of your comfort zone and teach you something new. And you struggle, you face the challenge, and coming through on the other side, you feel that satisfaction of, hey man, I learned something new. Hey man, now I know these skills that are gonna help me. And if you are working, and if you are already working in the industry that you wanna continue to be working at, you will see how these skills start to compile, and that you become a better professional. And in the long run, you feel that satisfaction, like, hey, if I look back like one semester, 2 semester ago, I was not this person. I have grown as a professional, I've grown as a person, and now I just, you just feel proud of the person that you are becoming.
Thanks for that, guys. It sounds like, despite how cliche it sounds, hard work does pay off in the long run. And you do feel that sense of self-gratification that you did complete this difficult task. So, our next question that we have, what advice would you give someone starting their graduate journey to make the most of their time in the program?
Could you repeat that question? I apologize. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting the graduate program?
Yes, what advice would you give to someone starting their graduate journey to make the most in their program?
Yeah, so kind of like what I was talking about earlier. I think getting the most out of it, you really get what you put in. And so, it's possible just to go to class or just attend a lecture, and that's really it. But you also have an amazing opportunity to make connections with your professors, fellow students who are going through the same thing that you're going through, uh, and build connections, make friendships, and really leverage this educational opportunity to also get into the industry and get industry experience through internships. Um, and and all of that is such an amazing aspect of and I would say a crucial and integral part of the program that whatever you're in. I think that's extremely important, and that'll make your experience 10 times better if you're able to do that.
Yeah, definitely, the best advice I could give is just like build those connections, and especially with your professors. Like the professors here in MSU, they all have industry experience. They all have been in your position, and they can give you not just like career advice, but also like give you recommendations and everything. And just an example, just before this meeting, I was with one of my professors that I would always go and check, if I am struggling with a homework. I would be honest with him and be like, hey, this is what I've done so far. I really want to go check it with you. And just the little conversations, and just being honest with your professors when you're struggling, when you about your career goals, and you will be surprised how much they can help you, all the advice that they can give you, and those connections last forever. And here I would say like the human quality of the professors is incomparable.
Okay, thank you all for that. Our next and final question that we had from our direct message is, what strategies or habits have you developed to stay motivated and organized throughout your graduate program?
Yeah, I've experienced this quite a bit in my time where I encounter a really challenging problem, and I think like, man, I this stinks. I wish I was just done, and it can be really discouraging at times. But the biggest strategy that I've taken upon myself is to kind of try and reset by if I'm facing a difficult problem and I'm getting frustrated, I don't know the answer, I just step away for a little bit and just kind of relax my head for 30 minutes, an hour, and just try to relax, and then maybe come back to it a little bit later, and you know just all of a sudden it hits me, and it's like, oh, that was so obvious, I just needed to step away for a second. But another thing for me, the biggest thing was just remembering the big picture, like remembering why I'm here. I'm here to build my skills, build relationships, and get ready to uh, get into the workforce. And that really remembering that motivation, remembering why you started school in the first place, really in the toughest moments, helps me get through it the most.
I would say the best advice is just like, as I said before, remember that it is supposed to be challenging. Like it's not supposed to be easy. Uh, it's honestly it's something that fills you with pride that, hey, I'm doing something that the fact that it's challenging is because it's worth it. And many times when you're taking a difficult class or you're struggling with a homework, that's not having fear of uncertainty, like, oh, this subject, it's difficult to comprehend. Yeah, it's supposed to be just push through and ask for help, and once you actually get it, I so it's just like the gratification, is really big. And it's just understanding that, okay, I just need to push a little bit harder because I'm doing something that's gonna is gonna pay off a lot of dividends in the long run in my career. So just keeping that in mind, and that's gonna help you during those challenging moments for sure.
Thank you guys for that. Do we have any questions from our current audience? Hearing that we have no comments, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today as we explored the many that resources and opportunities that make life as a graduate student enriching and rewarding. We do hope that you leave with a better understanding of how we support your success academically, personally, and professionally. And if you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to reach out to us via email or phone. And we're excited to see what you'll achieve as part of our community. And thank you all for your attendance today.